Good morning and welcome to the Saint Macrina Orthodox Homeschool Co-op parents meeting. We are making a video of this that will go on YouTube so that if you know anyone who was not able to be here today, they will be able to watch the meeting and get the information that they need. So first we're going to start, we're going to open with prayer. Father will. Father's having a snack, so if Father will.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Stand up, girls. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, now and ever, and unto ages of ages. Amen. O Christ our God, stretch forth your hand from heaven and bless the works of your hands, your servants, and their intentions. Provide for your children, for your holy always, now and ever, and unto ages of ages.
Amen. Jen, go to that table. You'll have stuff. And there's snacks in the corner, girls. I mean, all girls, but little girls too. All right. So just to give you an update of what's happening, we are last year, as everyone knows, the co-op did not go because due to pandemic and things like that. So this year we've just taken the opportunity to do a bit of a relaunch, and one of our goals and one of the things to put on your prayer list is we hope that eventually that in the Triangle we do have an Orthodox school. So we're hoping that the form that we are doing right now is going to be able to be something that is going to be able to grow and expand and meet many more educational needs in the Triangle than just an Orthodox co-op, but this is what we have. And many educators will tell you that's the best way to start a school, is to begin a co-op and then grow that into a school. So that's kind of our long-term vision. So our short-term vision was to have a co-op that serves the Orthodox homeschoolers throughout the Triangle, and that would mean all of the Orthodox churches. All of them have information about the co-op, and they are all welcome to participate. We will be meeting at All Saints Orthodox Church. It is pretty centrally located, does have facilities for us to use, and so that's kind of where the meetings will happen. So just to let you know that Father James and Father David have met and have decided to have a little bit more of a structure for the co-op this year, and so they've appointed a board that is going to work to make sure that the co-op, as it grows and as we move into different parts of our vision, we will already be ready to take care of that. So we have Rondi Pelican is serving as our secretary, treasurer, all things written down. Alina Pelican is serving as our communications, all things out there. She's so it's tech person. And then Craig Jennifer is she's kind of assistant to the whatevers, and we're getting that done. And so I'm kind of helping to organize. So Craig Jennifer is really doing all the work. I'm just kind of here, but helping to organize, and so that we have the framework to move forward. And Father David and Father James are both, of course, on the board and spiritually advising us as we go along. And so what we've decided is we have asked Suanna Alter, who I was going to call Kyle, but Suanna Alter. Suanna is graduated with a degree in classics, and she has a master's in children's literature. She's also taught elementary school for the last 4 years, and is a master at curriculum writing. And so we have asked her to be our curriculum consultant. We think one of the things that happens with co-ops is that they are sometimes kind of too free-flowing, too free-moving, and all of the parts are very malleable, but that sometimes gives some people a little more nerves, because you're not exactly sure what's coming, what are we doing. And so we decided that this year we're going to be a little bit more structured. We're going to put a plan out there. We invite everyone to participate and attend, and we thought if we gave you the plan, then you can sign up for what the plan is. So let's just start our PowerPoint show right now. Show. Dun, 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 dun. It is a show. All right. So again, so this is the Saint Macrina Orthodox Homeschool Co-op for 2021-2022. So this is the school year that you are kind of signing up for. This will start here in September and go through to the end of the year, 1st of May. All right. Next slide. All right. So the co-op will meet on Friday mornings for 5 weeks, and then it will take a break, okay? So we will be here for 5 weeks, and then there'll be a break, so that it kind of gives everyone a little more like, instead of, am I going this week? Am I not going this week? What are we doing? It gives a little more structure to your homeschool day. Each 5-week session will center around one book. So everybody has one focus, one thing that we are doing. Each week, every age group will study a different subject, all pertaining to the one book. So we have our dates for the sessions here. We'll have session 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they will, we have worked very hard to make sure that we're not running over your feast days. We're not running over things that are important to you in the church. And so if you notice, like for example, we have November 26th off, due to, that was Thanksgiving. But we have tried to take into account all of the things that you will need to be doing. All right? Our curriculum overview. Okay. She's proud of this. All right. So, please, Mrs. Alton. We will be studying Peter Pan for the first session, The Wizard of Oz for the second session, The Trumpet of the Swan for the third session, Charlotte's Web for the fourth session, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for the fifth session. All right, so these are just examples of the subjects that you will be signing up to teach. For example, if you pick music to teach, you will teach every age group music. So you're not going to pick to teach the little ones or the big ones. You're picking to teach music. So therefore, you will take that curriculum for that book and you will adapt it to the little ones, and then the next week to the middle ones, and the next weeks to the older ones, or vice versa, however your weeks go. For example, if you pick music, you may explore sea shanties with Peter Pan. You may study lullabies with Charlotte's Web, or you may write a song with a moral like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So there are a lot of curriculum ideas in here. Savannah is here for any sort of ideas or any help that you need, curriculum-based. But you're going to take these just so ideas that you can use. If you sign up for art, you might create paper poppies like in Wizard of Oz. You could use a spider web like Charlotte's Web to learn the color wheel, just some ideas. Learn to decorate treats like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. If you sign up for geography, you might track Louis' journey across the U.S. and Canada in Trumpet of the Swan. Discover the fantasy maps of Neverland and Oz and compare them to maps of real islands and countries. So this is going to be able to be broad across from little ones all the way up to high school ones. Depending on who signs up for co-op, we will break those into 3 or possibly 4 chunks, however we best feel that that works for our teachers. If you sign up for handicrafts, one of Savannah's very favorites, you might build an elastic band swan boat like in Trumpet of the Swan. You might make corn husk dolls like the Scarecrow and his friends in Wizard of Oz. Or you could build a house in the woods like the Lost Boys did for Wendy and Peter Pan. And we have a lot of smaller spaces outside of the building, and we're going to try to do a lot of outdoor classroom items. So we've kind of redone the back part over here and made it a little bit like a park and a little forest. So we're hoping to be able to get the kids out of the building and do some outdoor classroom items. So these are just some ideas, don't memorize, you don't have to memorize what you're going to do, but just some ideas when we say these items. All right, so science topics by book. So this is science, and Savannah has another fun slide. In Peter, you may study crocodiles for Peter Pan, lions, tigers, and bears. Thank you, I told you I didn't say that. Trumpet of the Swan, you would do the life cycle of birds, insects for Charlotte's Web, and the life cycle of plants in Charlie and those are cacao beans. Cacao beans. All right. So these are just some ideas that you'll be doing. So it does have an element of science in the curriculum. All right. So here's the teacher schedule. And I don't know if you're like me, and my brain doesn't. It has a box that it works in, but it doesn't work outside of that box very often. So Savannah has scheduled this out so that you can have a visual and see what you would do. So for example, if you sign up to teach music, you would teach the little ones the first week, and then you would have 2 weeks off because you're only teaching music 3 times to those 3 groups. And then you would teach high and middle, for example. If you signed up to teach art the first session, you would teach middle the first week, elementary the next week. You'd have 2 weeks off and then teach high. Now remember, this is only high as if we have high schoolers, this could just be the highest group that we have. So for example, if our students go through 12, it might be 3 to 6, 6 to 8, 9 to 12 or something like that. And then geography teacher will teach 3 weeks and then have 2 weeks off, the handicraft teacher. And so you can see that you do have some time off that you can, sit out and kind of chill. We'll talk about that in a minute. And so these are all of your dates and where you'd be teaching. So you will sign up to teach a subject, not a group. Remember, a subject. All right, so what we do at home, so we're trying to incorporate the home with the co-op and have this cohesive ability for everybody to do all of the things together. So for example, in writing, the co-op will supply writing prompts for each session for each age group. You are welcome to participate in that. You do not have to, but they will be there for you. Sometimes homeschoolers have a hard time coming up with items to write about, but this incorporates everything. And sometimes if you can tell your children, well, everybody's writing about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, we should do that too. Kind of gives you a little street cred. All right, your students can submit their writing at the end of the session for evaluation. And so Suanna will look at those and give your student feedback, give you feedback. That is something that she does, and she has offered to do that for us, but that is not required. Elementary prompts will be about summarizing the text and creativity. The middle school prompts will be about analyzing the characters and relationships, and the high school prompts will be about analyzing themes and bigger questions. For example, in Peter Pan, the elementary kids might describe their Neverland. In the middle grades, is Peter Pan a hero? Is Hook a villain? And in high school, is it better to grow up? Why or why not? I have my own theories. But anyway, okay, so the reading. The co-op will provide a reading schedule for each book with recommendations for how many chapters to read per week. So everybody's going to be reading this book aloud to their students at home, and then when we come into co-op, we'll be doing something that pertains to the book that everyone's reading. Most books will require roughly 3 to 5 chapters a week to finish the book by the end of the session. We encourage families to read the chapters out loud together and discuss the characters and events when you're at home, so that when your student comes to co-op, they're familiar with what the teacher is talking about. Try to highlight examples of our 5 subjects: music, art, geography, handicraft, and science, while reading, so the students are prepared for co-op classes. All right. So we will take questions today, but also if you're watching this on the video, if you have questions, you can contact us at give us an email that you can. Where should they send questions? Is that on one of our pages?
Saint Macrina HS Co-op @gmail.com.
All right, Saint Macrina.
Just Saint with an ST.
Saint with an ST, Macrina.
HS Co-op.
at gmail.com. If you have any questions, and those will be answered as quickly as we can get to them, okay? Are there any questions? Anybody who's here has any questions about anything that's going on? Yes?
I might have missed it. So it's every Friday for the 5-week sections. And then what's the time that we're meeting?
Oh, 10 to 11:30. That's it, 10 to 11:30 on Friday mornings. And if we have older students, middle school or high school students who would like to do some sort of writing, we can at 11:30. The parents can go outside, have snack together. You can bring a small packed lunch or whatever you'd like to do and play. And the older ones can do writing inside. If that's something that we want or something that we need, we have an opportunity to be able to do that and use our writing curriculum if that's something that we feel like we need. If we have older ones who would rather not do that and they'd rather assist in the younger classes, that's also an option. We just need to see who signs up, and then we'll be able to make those kind of decisions as we go.
Yeah, and I was going to say, with the older kids, if we're not having them in a group in the co-op, like high school students, and they want to help with the youngers, it's a really good volunteer opportunity to help. And we always need extra help. So
Exactly. So yeah, so you can do volunteer hours. Some colleges are requiring that now. So that's a good thing to have on your resume that you assisted at a homeschool co-op. So that's a good thing. So we'll of course make those decisions once we have the people sign up, and we'll see who wants to come to co-op. Yes.
Okay, it's another question. Looking at the teacher schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So my understanding is then that when you come in for the hour and a half, you'll have all of these subjects that are gonna be about this particular book, right? Is that the idea?
Right,
Or-
so every one of those subjects will be, no, 3 of those subjects will be being taught on a Friday, right? So only 3. Can we go back to that slide, Serena?
Okay, I see.
Okay, so when you come in the first week for Peter Pan, there'll be music, an art, and a geography.
Got it.
So handicraft and science won't be being taught that week because that teacher's got the time off. Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
Got it. Very good.
Right. All right, we also, any other questions about scheduling or, yes?
So I purchased this lowest grade is for elementary, so the preschoolers?
No, okay, so we just broke it up like this. So we're planning to start at 3. And so at the 3, so we may put the 3, 4s, and 5s together. We may, depending on what we get. So kind of one of the ways I know that some of the camps do, they just get everyone who's there, they line them up by age, and then they take, the first 10, the second 10, the third 10. So obviously one class may be bigger than another class, but it will have to be, and this could change every year because you can have some years where you have tons of 3 and 4 year olds, other years we only have 2 or 3. So it just depends. We do want to serve the preschool community in the, mainly because those preschoolers are the ones who are getting ready to become, elementary school students in our co-op. We want to make sure we serve those families, and we don't want to miss that opportunity. All right, anything else? All right, so our secretary has worked very hard on some of our papers that are what would we call these, Rondi? What's this title of this document?
General info requirements, code of conduct.
All right, so we have requirements and code of conduct, and we will put the PowerPoint sheets. We have those, and we'll put the code of conduct and the requirements up when we on our Facebook page. Okay. And if you can't get those, then obviously you can email us for those. We'll make sure that every church has these items so that you can see your priest if you don't have them, and he will have them. We will have them emailed to each of the priests. Okay. All right. So as for requirements and code of conduct, can I have one of those? All right. Okay, another new thing that we'll be doing this year is the students will come to the church and they will meet in the nave with at first either Father David or Father James. They will do a small, something holy. They will do something holy and pray with the students, have them, do a morning prayers or whatever and talk to them. And so that will pretty much be the religion part of it, that element. So therefore, we're not as worried about, like teachers that teach and things, because that's kind of taken care of by the priest. We don't have to really worry about that anymore. So that will be the religion element. Then you'll go to science, or then you'll go to geography or whatever. So that has been something that has not been offered in the past, but it will be happening that way. And so everyone will just gather there and then go to classes, and then go outside for snack, all right? So they're held from 10 to 11:30 at the church. We're trying to do a 2-week break in the middle so you can see that. Then they'll be divided. The cost for co-op is $50 for the first child in the family, not the first child in the family, and then $10 for each additional child. We had a lot of different discussion on that. We tried to make it as simple and as streamlined as possible so that we can serve our really large families and not make them feel like that they're not able to be there. We do have an account now where all of that money will go in, and if you need any supplies for teaching co-op, the money will come out of that for supplies, so you don't have to supply them yourself, all right? We do ask that families be attached or attend one of the local Orthodox churches and be under the priest there at their local parish. One parent, we don't care, it could be a dad or a mom, needs to be willing to teach. If we get a lot of parents in, we can do co-teaching, and then therefore, one of the things I was thinking of, if you sign up to teach art, but you're more comfortable with the younger ones, maybe your team teacher, if you teach with someone, might be more comfortable with the high, and y'all can switch off. You can do it however that works best for you, all right? And then we just have some different things down here, just asking that people, one of the important things is that a parent stays on site for co-op. If there's a problem in the classroom, we need to make sure that we can get a hold of you, get your child to you. So we will have, we can have in the parish hall, we'll have, coffee kind of set up for parents that want to mill, and when you're not teaching, you can have your time of visiting or whatever. If your student is in, or your child is in the co-op and you need to go somewhere, you need to make sure that another parent is in charge of your child. So if Alina has to run and grab something at the grocery store, she needs to get with Courier Jennifer and say, if Ella needs so-and-so, will you make sure you take care of it, okay? And so that's gonna be on the parents to be able to do. We won't be having a baby place where people are watching babies and things like that. You'll just watch your own child. And if you have a baby and you're teaching, you can just work with one of the other moms or one of the other families to make sure y'all are doing that together, all right? So I think we will put this code of conduct out. And so we are asking that you read it, and then we're going to have everyone sign the code of conduct and the requirement information. Rondi, are they going to sign it paper, or are we going to have it in a Google form, right?
We're gonna have the Google form, and then we'll just acknowledge that they've read it and agree to it and everything on the Google form.
Right, so we will have everyone sign and agree to the, to the cost, to the teaching, to all of the different things that they're signing up to do. All right? Any questions about conduct? Yes, Jana has a question. Obviously, conduct. Yeah.
Are classes going to be held in the Sunday school rooms then?
Right. Well, there'll be some mix of whatever. So, for example, if I'm teaching handicrafts and I want to be outside at the picnic tables, I'll be there. We will be able to use the Sunday school classrooms, and so we'll be able to do that, especially when it gets cold or if it's raining or whatever. That'll be fine. If you have a big project, I know, like if somebody's finger painting or something and you'd rather use the parish hall and put tables together, you're welcome. There's really not any, we just ask. And actually, if you're doing something that you feel like, I don't know, like if you feel like that you needed the nave for some holy space or quiet or something, then you're welcome to, kind of use that. I can't imagine any of the books that would need an icon explanation, but you never know. Peter Pan could go anyway. So yes, so Jana, we'll be able to use the whole both buildings, and outside, front and back. We have picnic tables in the back and picnic tables in the front. All right. Anything else?
One more question. I'm sorry. I'm just
no.
trying to get.
No, please. The more questions you ask, the more we have questions. Right.
Okay, so the teacher or the parent that's teaching, it sounds like maybe like a 20-30 minute slot, or what's the kind of like?
Well, it's an hour and a half.
So
It's an hour and a half. You're doing but remember, they come in and they're going to do something with Father in the morning.
Okay.
So nobody's going to, by the time you get them in there and do all of that, I would think probably you're looking at, by the time you get out of there, maybe if anybody has to go to the bathroom or whatever, you're probably looking at about an hour.
And so I'm teaching an hour,
Mm-hmm.
but just for the different.
Yes. So for example, you've signed up for music. You come in on the first week. You've got the little ones for the first week, and so when they come out of the nave, you might want to go to the bathroom, whatever, and then you can break that hour up into however you want. You can do, instruments for whatever, and then you can take them on a walk outside where they sing whatever. That's your opportunity for Peter Pan for the littles. All right, so anything you're going to do that relates to Peter Pan for the littles, that's your hour. So I would just think about an hour 5 tops. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so if it were me, I would break it up into, like maybe 3 20-minute what I was doing or something. And then of course when you get up into the bigger ones, it may be just a full discussion on, on villains or whatever, I don't know. So yeah, so I think you'd have to structure that according to but you will be able to structure it differently by the time you get the next time. Then you may have something totally different, and you need this hour. Maybe they're making, something that you need them to do. Right. So that's the plan. All right. Yes. There is a sign-up deadline, and it is September 20.
I know.
What?
It's supposed to be
I'm sorry.
next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday is the 27th, right?
And that was our initial.
August
deadline.
27th is your sign-up deadline, August 27th, and that'll give us 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
To get
be able to plan.
right. So when you sign up, not only are you signing up your child, but you are signing up to teach. Now, what we need you to do, and this will all be on the Google form, correct, Rondi?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So on the Google form, not only are you signing up your children, children or whatever, and giving us their ages. We don't really care as much about grades, but giving us their ages. And then you are also signing up to teach. Now remember, if you only sign up for music and somebody else signs up for music, that's going to be difficult. So I need you to pick your first choice that you want to teach, your second choice you want to teach, and even if you think to yourself, well, I could do 3 of these, you know, like I would never sign up to teach music because the children don't deserve that. So I might would pick the others, but I can do science and geography and handicrafts. So those are kind of my 3 strong points. You know, Alina might be music, art, and handicrafts or something like that. She may have different. So if you could sign up for your first choice that you'd like to teach, your second choice you'd like to teach, and if you could put a third one in, that would help too. Because what's going to happen is the next session, we can switch you around. You can sign up to teach again, and you may pick something different. You may say, I did music this time. I'd like to move over to handicrafts and see what that entails. But the problem is the board will meet and they'll put people in. So if you got music this time and somebody else put music as their first choice, then the next session, maybe they will get music and we'll move you to a different thing. Yes.
So if somebody is new and they've never done this kind of thing before, and they're apprehensive about teaching, like being a lead teacher, is there a way that maybe they can request to be like an assistant to start? And where we would pair them initially, they can get their feet underneath them and get used to it, working with a more seasoned teacher.
Sure.
To where they don't feel so overwhelmed.
Right. So put that on your Google form. When you put you pick the thing that you think you're going to be, you know, you're going to be your sweet spot, and then you can put, you know, new assist please, or I'd like to assist. You can do that if you'd like. If we don't, you know, if we need you to teach by yourself, then we may have to have a discussion about that, but that is definitely an option. And so we can pair you with another teacher who has done this longer, and then maybe the first session you assist, for the second session you say, I got this, I can do this. And maybe the first session you get something you're not really strong in, and you move to something else the next session. But pretty much, I mean, you know, come on. Handicrafts? Come on, that's what I'm saying. All right, so yes, that's an option. So your Google form is coming out to you how? Pray, Jennifer?
It will be sent in the email where we send all the code of conduct. There's going to be a link to it,
Okay.
so they can click into that and fill it out
Okay.
and have it digitally.
And that will also be on, the information will be on Facebook and Instagram, and we will send it out through the churches, also through the churches. And we do have we have an email group, don't we, that we send to, or we don't?
We do have a Google group. Once we have everybody's email who's in the co-op, we'll put them in the group.
Okay, so we will have a Google group. That is how we will communicate, but you will see this. Again, if you have any questions or you don't get the email and you don't know what's going on, you can email us at
Saint Macrina HS Co-op at Gmail. So
Saint
we'll put
Macrina
that-
HS Co-op at Gmail.
We'll put the email address on over the church Google group. We'll put it on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, you'll
So
see
then-
that
then
email.
What you can do is you can hang on. You can email me at that, and then I can send you the Google form. I can send you the code of conduct and everything like that too. So.
Right. And remember, when you sign up, you are committing to at least the 5 weeks that you signed up for. We'd like you to commit to the year because it gives us better help in planning. But once you sign up for a 5 week, we need you there for that 5 week, because if you drop out, then that leaves a class that's undone. Yes.
Okay, so there should be probably some clarification about when you sign up, when you're paying for your $50 for the year.
$50 for the year.
So you're signing up for all the sessions.
Right.
So,
Right.
you're kind of committing for the whole year, but you may decide not to be a part of a 5 week session.
Right,
but
I
you're
mean,
still paying.
it could be. I mean, someone could have a baby. Someone could, something could, something could happen, and you have to, go out of the country for a few weeks or something. So if that happens, I mean, obviously, but we're asking that you at least know that once you've committed to teaching for a 5 week time, that you're there for that 5 week. But your $50, $10, $10, $10, however you do that, is for the whole year, and we do expect families to participate for the year. Starts in August, ends in May, I guess. So that's our plan. Okay. Anything else? What are we thinking? Anything else? Anybody got any other thoughts? Any other thoughts? Okay. All right. So register by next Friday, and then we will assign you. We'll assign you your teaching assignment. as soon as we can after next Friday so that you can start preparing. Remember that Suanna is available, day or night, really, to take your curriculum, your teaching questions. I am always around if you need ideas. I don't mind. I love teaching. That's what I do. And so, don't feel like if you sign up to teach something, you're teaching it by yourself. This is a co-op. Everyone works together. And if you need ideas, we are here for ideas. So I don't want anybody to feel trepidatious about doing something. It's going to be a big family, and we're going to work together. Yes, Mommy.
I was gonna say that maybe we could make the due date for payment by the first class.
Right, so by
you
the-
don't have
right.
to sign up, you don't have to pay by next Friday, it's just
Right.
signing up so we know who's gonna be involved.
Right, if we can
And
know.
then we'll let you know how to work out the payment before the first class in September.
Right, so you'll just be paid by the first class in September, okay? All right, are we good? Thank you, Suanna, for a curriculum and for this beautiful slideshow. We do have all of this will be coming out to everyone. If you know anyone who is a homeschooler in the Triangle, an Orthodox homeschooler in the Triangle that was not here or does not know about this, please let them know, and we will make sure that we get the Google Forms to them so that they can sign up, and we will see all of you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.